Morning, it's May 8th, and this is To My Liberal Friends. Will voters in 2024 be forced to once again vote against a candidate more than they vote for one? In my opinion, in 2016, people voted more against Hillary Clinton than they did for Donald Trump. I suspect that the two most surprised people that night were the two candidates. Clinton was sure she had won, and Trump was resigned to losing. Well, fast forward to the presidential election in 2020, and once again, I believe people voted against Donald Trump more than they voted for Joe Biden. So where does that leave us in 2024, which is now on the horizon? Joe Biden has announced that he's running for a second term, and Donald Trump has already thrown his hat into the ring seeking revenge for his loss in 2020. Neither candidate generates enthusiastic support, and only silver lining for Republicans would be that someone else gains momentum and knocks Trump off his pedestal and out of the race. For Democrats, it appears that nobody will challenge the incumbent, at least not any serious candidate. Yesterday, an ABC Washington Post poll was revealed, and it was not good news for either of these aging political warriors. Biden's overall approval rating was an abysmal 36%, and that was down 6 points from 42% in February. More concerning for Democrats was that his disapproval rating was at 56%, and 47% strongly disapproved of him. And the poll further dampened the spirits of Democrats because in some of the core groups that Biden will depend on, his approval is slipping. He stands at 26% with voters under the age of 30, and only 42% among non-white adults, 41% with urban voters, and just 45% with voters who claim no religious affiliation. Independents, who are a crucial voter blockers, among those that voted for Biden in 2020, he still has a 56% approval and a 30% disapproval. But among the independents that voted for Trump, 96% of those disapprove of Biden and how he's handled the affairs of the nation. When it comes to the economy, Biden came into office with the economy struggling under the COVID pandemic. And being honest, this was one of his key arguments in 2020, that Trump had mismanaged the pandemic. But even with this thumping of his chest by Biden and his fellow Democrats, the polls showed that by a margin of 54% to 36%, those polled felt that Trump would better manage the economy today. And there's some validity to these numbers because under Trump, pre-pandemic, the economy was humming on all cylinders and wages and job growth were up across the board. I suspect that voters are figuring out that when Biden and his minions claim to have created all these millions of jobs, they're now realizing that the vast majority are just jobs that are returning in the post-pandemic era. Another problem for those polled is the age issue. Biden's now 80 years old, and in 2024 he will be 82. That means he would be 86 years old if he were to survive a second term. There is no doubt that any challenger to Biden will make age an issue. In this poll, 63% say he does not have the mental sharpness to serve effectively as president, up from 43% in 2020 and 54% a year ago. What's it going to be in 2024? They also say by a 62% margin that Biden is not in good enough physical health to be an effective president. But let's not pretend that Trump comes off unscathed. Trump is now 76 years old and will be 78 in January of 25. But he doesn't fare better than Biden because 54% he's sufficiently sharp mentally to serve as president, and 64% say he's physically fit enough to serve. But that's not glowing numbers. And that's about all the good news that Trump is getting in this poll. Neither Trump nor Biden is viewed positively on questions of honesty and trustworthiness. Voters have tuned out Donald Trump when he lies repeatedly, claiming the 2020 election was stolen from him. Only 33% of the polls say that Trump is honest and trustworthy, while 63% say he's not. Biden's not far behind, with only 40% saying that he's honest and trustworthy and 54% saying he's not. Donald Trump has never been viewed by the voters as being an honest person, and I suspect the continual drumbeat of scandals surrounding Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, and some of his other family members are starting to erode any belief that he is being honest with the public about the dealings of Hunter Biden and other family members that they've had with foreign companies and nations. If we factor in Ron DeSantis as a possible candidate, the numbers get even more interesting. In a Trump versus Biden race, 36% say would definitely vote for the Republican, with another 9% saying they would probably vote for the Republican. Biden comes in at 32%, saying they would definitely vote for the Democrat, with another 6% saying they probably would. That meant the numbers for Trump are 45% and Biden with 38%. And that leaves 18% undecided. Matching up DeSantis gives deficit 32% and 10%, probably for a total of 42%. Biden stays at 32%, definitely, but drops to 5% as probable, with 21% undecided. And remember, Governor DeSantis has not declared himself a candidate. I suspect his numbers would increase if he would officially join the race. Biden won suburban voters in 2020 with 54% of the vote. And according to that same Pew study, in the new post-ABC poll, Trump slightly leads Biden among suburbanites, with Trump at 45% and Biden at 39%. A difference that's within the poll's margin of error, but scary to anybody supporting Biden. Trump has a huge lead among rural voters, while Biden has a small lead among urban voters. Biden's lead among non-white voters, while Trump leads among white voters. White voters are split depending on levels of education, following a pattern that's existed in recent presidential and congressional elections. Trump does best, 60%, among white men without college degrees, and next best, 56%, among white women without college degrees. Biden does his best, 50%, with white women who have college degrees. Among white men with college degrees, he and Trump run about even, 41 to 42%. The number that should scare the Biden team the most is support among black voters. In 2021, that number stood at 81%, and in this poll it was 52%. These are the voter margins among black voters that gave Biden close victories in several states. Those numbers may explain why the Biden announcement video seemed to focus heavily on appealing to black voters. In my opinion, the 2024 election once again has a strong possibility of forcing us to choose between the lesser evil in our minds. Voters will vote against Trump more than for Biden, and other voters will vote more against Biden than Trump. Maybe we really do need to change age limit to 75 and get rid of these two old fools. This has been To My Liberal Friends. Thanks for listening.